There was a time in my life when I genuinely believed that if life wanted you to grow up, it had to hurt you first. You had to fail badly. You had to get betrayed. You had to lose money. You had to go through your darkest days, before you finally became wiser. I believed that for years. So whenever something went wrong, I'd always tell myself, maybe life's trying to teach me something. But deep down, I was exhausted. Because if growth always had to come with pain, then doesn't that make life feel a little too cruel? Then one day, I heard a sentence that completely changed the way I saw life. People need lessons to grow. They don't need suffering to grow. And honestly, I just stood there quietly for a long time. Because for the first time, I realized, maybe I'd misunderstood growth all along. Maybe people don't actually need to be broken before they become stronger. Maybe we just need to learn the lesson, before life forces us to learn it the hard way. From that day on, I started paying attention to how people really grow. And I realized, there are 3 kinds of growth in this world. The first kind is growing through your own hardships. This is the path most people go through. Losing a relationship, and only then learning how to love properly. Losing money, and only then learning how to manage it. Getting betrayed, and only then learning how to read people. Getting hurt, and only then learning how to love yourself. I used to be like that too. I cried a lot before I finally understood. Putting all of your happiness into another person is a dangerous thing. I pushed myself to exhaustion before I realized, not every kind of effort is actually growth. But the older I got, the more I understood something important. If people always have to suffer just to learn life lessons, then the price we pay is way too high. Some people lose 10 years just to learn about trust. Some lose their entire youth just trying to understand their own worth. And that's when I understood the second kind of growth. Smarter people grow through the successes and failures of others. They observe. They look at a broken marriage, and learn how to build a healthier relationship. They look at someone burnt out from overworking, and learn balance. They look at successful people, and study their mindset and discipline. These people don't wait for life to completely knock them down before they decide to change. They learn from other people's lessons, before those lessons become their own tragedy. And then, I realized there's an even higher level of growth. The wisest people grow through learning. That was the point where my life genuinely started to change. Back then, I thought learning was only about gaining knowledge. But later, I realized this. Learning the right things is the least painful way to change your life. The right book can save you from wasting 10 years going the wrong direction. The right lesson can save you from a deeply painful marriage. The right perspective can completely change a person's entire life. From the day I started intentionally learning about emotions, mindset, inner healing, and how the brain works, I began changing in ways I never expected. I stopped seeing difficulties as punishment. Instead, I started asking myself, what's the lesson here? And strangely enough, the moment you stop fighting the problem and start looking for the lesson inside it, your mind begins working differently. I started seeing opportunities in moments that once felt hopeless. There was a time when my work hit a massive problem. In the past, I probably would have panicked and complained endlessly. But that time, I asked myself, what if this is actually a chance to change the way I work? And honestly, it was. After that setback, I became far more mature in the way I think. The same thing happened in relationships. Before, whenever someone hurt me, I'd focus on their flaws first. But now, I try to notice the good before the bad. Not because I'm excusing poor behavior, but because when you constantly focus on negativity, your mind slowly pulls you deeper into it. And when you're able to see the good in people, your heart feels lighter too. That's when I realized something powerful. What shapes a person's life isn't just their circumstances. It's the perspective they use to look at those circumstances. Some people face hardship and collapse. Some people face hardship and grow. And some people grow before hardship even arrives, simply because they chose to learn. That was the part that truly woke me up. Life isn't trying to make us suffer. It's just that many people refuse to learn. Until the pain becomes unbearable. And since understanding that truth, my life has genuinely become better day by day. I blame life less. I sink into negativity less. I stop treating problems like dead ends. Instead, I focus on solutions. I focus on lessons. I focus on becoming a little better every single day. And maybe that's what real growth actually is. Not becoming someone who's never been hurt, but becoming someone who learns before life has to teach him through pain. If this message changed the way you see life too, leave a 2 in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so we can grow together through wisdom and awareness, instead of through wounds that came too late.